Hello, I'm State Representative Brian Stewart from Ohio's 78th House District. Welcome to Conversation Ohio.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Ohio. I'm your host, Gail Crawley. We have with us today newly elected State Representative Brian Stewart. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Gail. I really appreciate being here.
Tell us about your district and the counties you represent.
Sure. So I have more counties than any district in the state of Ohio. We have all are part of 6 counties. So I've got part of Pickaway, part of Fairfield, all of Hocking, 1 township in Athens County, all of Morgan County, and 2 townships and a village in Muskingum County.
As a new member of the General Assembly, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm coming to the State House after 2 terms as a Pickaway County Commissioner in Circleville area just south of here. I'm also a former councilman for the village of Asheville. I am a 2-time graduate of The Ohio State University. I got my undergraduate degree and my law degree on the GI Bill. And for the last 10 years, I've also been a practicing attorney. My law firm is Farthing & Stewart, LLP in Circleville, and so I represent families and businesses throughout central and southern Ohio. And I go to Village Chapel Church in Asheville. My wife, Latanya, and I have been married for 16 years. She's a nurse practitioner. And we have 3 children, Salem, Sydney, and Lincoln.
Now, it's my understanding that you are an Army veteran. Thank you for your service. I
appreciate it.
How do you feel your time in the Army prepared you to serve as a state representative?
I was a senior in high school on 9/11, and that really motivated me to join the military. So I was active duty Army from 2003 to 2006. I was in the infantry. I was deployed to the Baghdad area in Iraq for all of 2005, conducting combat patrols with my unit. And so, I do believe that my time in the military has made me a better elected official. In the Army, you're taught to complete a mission, right? Even when it's difficult, even when you might rather be somewhere else, even when you're maybe working with some people that you don't always see eye to eye on. And in the Army, you don't have the option to say, gee, First Sergeant, I can't do that mission today because I don't like the way that the person beside me voted, right? You learn to get things accomplished anyway. And so as you're completing a mission with people that you may not have a lot in common with otherwise, you can realize that you can still be friends and you can still get that mission accomplished. The Army gave me a very thick skin. And there's nothing that I've experienced in politics that is more stressful than being in a war. And I think that's a good perspective that veterans bring to the table and allows us to get good results for our constituents.
We want to get to know you, so tell us about your personal life, things that you like to do for fun.
Sure. Well, I'm a long-suffering Bengals fan. I'm also a less-suffering Buckeyes fan, obviously. But I'm also, I think I'm in the running for the biggest Johnny Cash fan on the planet. I've got 52 albums and counting. Obviously enjoy, spending time with my wife and kids. We do a lot of traveling, try to take them to historical sites and learn about Ohio and different areas around the country. Enjoy playing outside with them. They're keeping me active. But my biggest kind of passion hobby has always been movies. I'm a big movie buff, collect a lot of movies. And when the COVID slowdowns kind of started, I actually started a podcast with my old Army buddies. And so we've had about 42 episodes in a row during this kind of slowdown period. We call it the Office Grunts. So a couple of old Army veterans that talk about movies every week together, kind of a good way to stay in contact with them and kind of share with people, our love of movies and what it can mean for us.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Tell me, what are some of your legislative priorities and goals for the 134th General Assembly?
So for my district, broadband internet access has become an even bigger issue in a lot of ways than even job creation, which is hard to believe, compared to some other years. But COVID has really showed us that, internet is not a luxury anymore. It's not an option. It's a necessity. It is becoming like water and electricity. We have students in my district who cannot get in the internet to do their homework. We have businesses that, 30 years ago, you could start a business in your garage. If you can't get online to sell your product today, you can't start your business in your garage. And so increasing internet access for every single family is my number one priority in this job. And I think there's been some good bills that have been in the General Assembly before that didn't quite get across the finish line at the last minute. And I'm excited to help however I can to pick those efforts back up. Also, job creation. When I was a county commissioner in Pickaway County, we created over 2,700 new jobs in 8 years. I believe that's possible for every county to increase the number of good paying jobs, not just in our state, but close to home, right? I'm from a district where a lot of people are commuting an hour and a half to work in Columbus. For some jobs that might make some sense, but we don't think that people should have to drive 2 hours a day just to have a good paying job. We want more of those good paying jobs in Amanda, Logan, McConnellsville, Circleville, not just Columbus, Cincinnati, and Cleveland. Also want to represent the values of this district. This is a very, patriotic, rural district. We're very passionate about our Second Amendment rights. I'm very strongly pro-life and want to stand up for those values at the State House. And, I just want to make government work better. As an attorney and as a local elected official, I've had a lot of time to kind of see where, certain laws or regulations might not make sense, some problems that need solved that I think, some of these are bills that might pass 90-0 if somebody has the drive and the passion and the work ethic to work those bills and get them across. And so, a lot of nuts and bolts issues that we can work on, Democrats, Republicans, everywhere in between, just to make our state better.
Finally, how can your constituents contact your office if they have questions?
Well, my constituents can reach out to me by phone. We're at 614-466-1464, or by email at rep78@ohiohouse.gov. I've also started another podcast relating to my work here in the General Assembly. Imaginatively, it's called the Brian Stewart Podcast. And we're going to use that to share information with our constituents about the things we're working on, talk to folks in the district, other folks in government about issues that are affecting Ohio. So I really value having a positive relationship with my constituents. And so I really hope that folks do reach out to me and share your thoughts about what's going on in Ohio.
Representative Stewart, I've enjoyed talking with you, and thank you so much for joining us on Conversation Ohio.
Thanks so much, Gail.